All right, guys, we're at the gym. It's snowing and blowing like crazy, so I'm going to do a candid little video. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, just haven't sat down to do it. So we talk a lot of times with clients about, obviously calories in, calories out, weight loss, weight gain, muscle gain, those kind of things. One of the things that a lot of people often talk about is, like, what do I have to do to build this, or what do I have to do to burn this? And so I'm going to do a very brief explanation, then I'm going to go into more detail, focusing primarily on, like what our calorie burn looks like. So let's say hypothetically, this plate accounts for about 500 calories. Now we have what's called a BMR. It's a basal metabolic rate. It's what our body burns just on any given day. So let's say the average, middle-aged person, male or female, let's say hypothetically speaking, has 1,500 calories, and that's their BMR. That's what their body burns being alive. Now let's say, depending on the job, you might have an extra 250 calories, and that's just working, getting up, going to doing your normal stuff. Now let's say you have a very active job, and you're somebody who maybe you're a laborer or something like that. You're going to have that extra little bit, but again, the bulk of it is your BMR, and then you have this kind of like active metabolic rate. Now, we might have, maybe you're somebody who moves around a lot, you fidget, or maybe you like to park at the end of the lot at the grocery store. Maybe you like to do a lot of, kind of little things throughout the day, or maybe you specifically go for a 15-minute walk on your break or whatever. So you may, let's say you've got this otherwise, kind of sedentary job, and then on top of that, you've got your NEAT calories, which again, that somewhat is included within the other one too, but just for the sake of visual here, you've got this extra little bit of calories that goes on top of that. This is the one I think that people underestimate that has the greatest impact on like fat loss, for example, is not necessarily doing dedicated workouts or cardio sessions or anything like that, but just moving around. Dedicating 10,000, 15,000 steps a day, whatever you can do. It ends up being a rather large amount of calories over the course of the day. At the gym, you're probably looking at about maybe 250 calories. Like if it's a really intense workout, you might get a little bit more than that, but it's not a big number. Especially if you're doing weight training. Weight training is really, really good, but it's not going to yield a ton of calories burned. But what you're doing is you're enhancing your muscle mass, which then, helps significantly, with your long-term, kind of metabolic health and how your body processes some of that stuff. So now to go back a little bit, the average person probably eats, I would say, I think the latest, it's like between 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. So, if you're somebody, let's say you eat 2,000 calories a day, and your BMR is about 1,750, including, just your normal activity level, you're going to continually increase your body fat over time because, you're in a surplus every single day. Now, again, you start working out regularly, now you're in a balance. You're probably not going to add body fat. You'll probably add a little bit of muscle mass over time, so it'll kind of balance it out. But again, if you do a slight caloric deficit, maybe 250 calories, now you're going to be in that deficit a little bit greater. It's going to yield to a little bit more fat loss over time. But one of the things that gets really confusing with this is, again, let's assume you eat 2,000 calories on a normal day. Let's say you're somebody who's got a very active job. Your NEAT calories are up, and you like to work out for an hour every single day. You're in the deficit most days of the week, 2,000. Now let's say the weekend comes and you don't like to do much. Like this is your break, this is your time to hang out, which again, it's not necessarily throwing it away, but you now intake 2,000 and you're burning about, in this case, about 1,625. So, you're going to add every weekend because you're not adjusting the nutrition for the lack of activity. And so the challenge here is that it's very much about consistency over time. And to kind of make this kind of long story short, I guess, would be the one thing that we have control over. Your BMR is your age, your height, your body weight. That's going to be within probably 10% of what you would normally burn. There are some high responders and low responders, but the thing that you have control over is obviously your nutrition. You can control that. It takes a little bit more, discipline to do that, day in, day out, 3, 4, 5 meals a day and snacks. But, nutritionally, workout wise, you can get half hour, 45-minute workout most days of the week. You can move a little bit more. Maybe you get a 15-minute walk in every day. Maybe you like to do some, even things like yoga, meditation, stuff like that. It may not seem like much, but, you're moving around a little bit. You're getting that extra low calories. And so, those types of things are, fairly simple to start with. It's just simply walking. And of course, the more, detailed the goal, the more specific the training and those kind of things. But for most people, when it comes to just managing their body weight, losing weight or losing fat, it's creating a more active deficit versus just, cutting down the calories to where you're down to 1,000 calories a day, and you're still only burning, your normal amount. Well, you're going to get a lot of resistance from your body, especially the longer you're in that deficit. The more weight you lose, the more your metabolism slows, and then you have to create an even greater deficit later on. It's just a lot better overall to create the deficit primarily from, an active, deficit versus like just taking it out. So again, if somebody normally has a 2,000 calorie diet, and you take it down, let's say 250 calories, and then you add 250 calories to your activity for the day, whether that's a workout or whether it's going for a walk, that yields, again, that deficit of about 500 calories. Ideally you lose about a pound a week, which, may not seem like a lot, but that's a really, really, really good start. In fact, a pound a week for even 10 straight weeks is 10-pound weight loss, and that is a considerable amount. So again, this is just something that we've been talking about for a while. I tried to keep it short, but I never do. So Jason's laughing at me over there, I'm sure a little bit. But biggest thing is, increase activity. It doesn't have to be like crazy long workouts or anything intense. Walk around more, move more, increase that NEAT activity, park a little farther away, maybe walk a little bit around the store, while you're doing things. Create a little bit of a deficit, but, don't go overboard. Like, don't do any crash diets where you're only eating 800 calories a day and you're taking, a fuel supplement or something like that to compensate. Yes, you'll lose weight, you absolutely will, but at the cost oftentimes of muscle mass. Your hormones can get a little messed up, but again, move around more should help with that. Also, I apologize, I look a little rough today. The weather, I didn't trim up for this video, so but enjoy. Hopefully this helped kind of clear some things up. If you have more questions, please let us know. Looks like the sun's coming out, so hopefully some clients come in here soon.